Hello, people, and welcome to this new session, Solving Tactics on ChessTempo.com. This session is 1700 to 1800. It's mixed, blah, 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 blah. 1700 to 1800, blah, 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 blah. When you see the problem, pause the video, solve it, blah, 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 blah. You know the deal, and if you don't, you haven't been watching my videos, and blah, 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 blah. What's up with this? If rook takes, king takes, king g4, king f6, king takes h4. I don't have the opposition, and I probably lose. Let's do it again. Takes, g4, king e6, king g4. Nope. Takes. King g4, king f6, king h4, king g4, king g6, king g4 with the opposition. King f6, king f4. King g6, king g4. He's got to push the pawn at some point and give me the opposition back. So is that a draw? So it's this position with the rook takes, king takes, king g4, king f6, king takes h4. I also play h3. That's an interesting move. Making it a rook pawn and making it even harder for him to win. Rook takes, king takes, king g4, h3, king takes, pawn takes h3, or rook takes. What about h3 now? Rook takes, king g4, h3, and he can play king takes h3. But I can play h3 now, and if rook takes h3, it's a draw. If pawn takes h3, I can play here, rook takes, king here, king here, king here, king here, and I get to h8 in time. So let's just play h3 right away. Although I'm not so certain that this is not a draw just with rook takes, king takes, g4. I used to be so good at endgames. King e6 would take the diagonal opposition. King takes h4, king f6, king g4, king g6, g3, and I lose the opposition. g3, king f6, h5, and I lose. King h5. So rook takes, king takes, and I think taking the diagonal opposition actually loses. So I should just get the opposition after he pushes. Rook takes, king g4, king f6, king takes h4, king g6. g4, king h6, draw. Yeah, so it's fine to just take the pawn. No? Alright, yeah, h3. h3 is the more subtle. But is it really not fine to just take the pawn? Why would I go there? I want to go here. Okay, alright, so yeah, there we go. That's the win. Huh. Nah. Yeah. Alright. So if bishop here counterattacking, he has rook c1 check. Then I would have king takes d2. And I'm on the rook on c1. If bishop takes f, I can take here. That made it a little bit more easy for me than I expected. The problem goes rook check, king takes. And now if bishop takes, I take here. And yeah, there's nothing much else to be said. If I were in this position, I might play rook h1. f3, queen takes f3. Rook takes g2, queen takes g2. Queen e1 check. Queen e1 check, king h1. d8 queens is coming. d8 queens. So maybe I'm just trying to perpetual. Or maybe I should exchange the queens. Maybe I should exchange the queens to get rook a8. Pawn takes here. Pawn here, queen takes, rook a8. And there's nothing he can do to stop rook d7, rook d7, rook d8, rook d7. Queen check, king h1, queen e2. He could play king g1. That's a repetition. If rook g1, I would have chances still because I'd have like queen f2, threatening queen takes h4 mate. But yeah, I think that f3, queen takes f3, and then rook a8, stopping the pawn. Michael Adams with the black pieces. I'd love to play rook check, knight takes, knight check, king h2, queen h1, but it's not checkmate. Maybe there's another way to get it to work. What about rook check, knight takes, knight check, king h1? Rook check, knight takes. Rook check, knight takes, knight e2 check, king h1. I have a perpetual. Do I want a perpetual? Not sure. I'm a piece down. If there's no win, I have a perpetual. Rook e1 check, knight takes, knight e2 check, perpetual. King h1, knight g3 check, king g1, knight e2 check, perpetual. But rook check, knight takes, knight check, king h1, queen check, king h2. And then queen g1 mate. Nice. Hum, 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 hum. Hum, 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 hum. Hmm. 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 Queen b8, king g7, queen e5. Queen b8, king g7, queen e5, king g7, king f7. I don't see anything special there. What is the threat? Queen f1 check, king h2. And there's no follow-up check if my pieces stay where they are. But my pieces can't stay where they are. And that outside passed pawn is going to be dangerous. Queen takes h6 is suicide, right? Queen f1 check, king h2, knight f3 check. Or better yet, queen takes f2. Queen check, king h2, queen takes f2 check. King h3. And I'm going to get mated. Hmm. 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 Ha, 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 ha. I could just perpetual, since it feels like I think this endgame is lost. Or it's certainly not winning. I don't have the winning advantage. So queen b8, queen g7, queen e5, king g8, queen b8 again. King g8. I have queen e8, king g7, queen check. f6, queen check is a definite perpetual, perhaps more. So king f8 is the only line I really need to consider, after which I have queen d6 check. So yeah, let's just give perpetual. Oh, wow, didn't even see check on b2 square. Didn't see the check on the b2 square at all. That's the highest rated fork I've seen. Ha ha ha. Whoops. All right, black to move again. It's one of those like hold the draw. So his plan is. Oh wait, I've had this problem before. I've had this problem before. His plan is knight g5 blocking h6, and I just need to come in with my king, and the king won't come around in time. Because the line goes, and I actually remember it. The line goes king d5, knight g5, king d6, h6, king e7, h7, bishop b2. And now so my king's on d7, his pawn's on h7, my bishop's on b2. Now his knight has to come from here to here. No, he can't go here because my king's on e7. So he actually needs to go to g7, and he's just not in time to get to g7. My king gets in before his knight can go to g7. So now you can see that the knight wants to go here to block off the long diagonal, but because of my king's positioning, he can't do it. And my pieces are just too fast. Wait, again, this is... What the hell? Okay, so this goes bishop... Take, king f5. That's the second time I've gotten both of those problems. That's... I know that chess tempo does have like a spaced repetition thing, but I didn't get either of those problems wrong. Anyway, just to explain, the line goes king here, bishop here, or king here, bishop here, pawn here, and after the bishop takes, king takes, there's no way to stop me from coming here. So I think the best try is bishop c2 or c1, after which I play here, here, here. The bishop must take, and I will take on f4. Alexei Shirov playing. Okay, so he's going to try and give perpetual. Rook a2, queen c2, rook a2, queen c1 check, rook b2. My question is, where can I run away from the checks? Do I want to? Yeah, I probably do. I probably do want to run away from the checks. Because I have the attack. But if I'm getting mated, then... Okay, if king b3, queen check here, king here. Bishop... No, he doesn't have bishop check. He has queen check. I'd have king b4. And then he can play a quiet move, rook d6. And he'll have mate threats. So the best is just to allow the perpetual. Bobby Fischer, Boris Spassky. That's a nice one. Problem number 111883. Next problem. So tell me all your thoughts on God. Knight check. Rook takes or queen takes? Rook takes. Or knight takes or bishop takes. Rook check here. King g7. 'Cause I'd really like to meet him. Knight f7 check, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, queen takes. Rook check, king g7. Rook takes g6 double check. Rook f7 double check. So knight check, bishop takes, knight takes, rook takes, whatever. Rook h5 check, king g7. Rook takes g7 double check mate supported by the bishop on c. Yes! 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 Alright. Queen mate. Nice. This is another one that I really like. I should just open it up in a separate window without, disturbing the rhythm. And ask him, are we very far? Oh, are we very far now? Are we very far now? So queen check, that's just winning a piece, right? Queen c1 check, king a2. So the only thing I need to think about is what happens after king b4. I would have queen b1 check. I'd also play the queen check here. Not queen c, but queen here, check. He would have king b3, king b3. So yeah, maybe not. After king b3, my plans are done, but... So queen check here, king b4 is the problem. The pawn endgame is not so easily winning for me. I definitely have serious ideas of creating a passer here. And it's more difficult for him to stop my passer than it is for me to stop his. My king is here to come to the d pawn, but his king is all the way over here. Cause I'd really like to meet him. So the problem is queen c1 check, king b4, queen b1 check, king a5. I can just play queen takes c2, and where is he going to go with his bishop? Queen takes c2, his bishop needs to go along this diagonal. So his bishop needs to go to f1 or a6. So queen c1 check, king b4, queen b1 check, king a5, queen takes c2. Nope. Queen a5 check, king b3, no. Knight takes c4 check, queen takes queen e3 check, no. Knight takes c4, queen takes c4. That certainly opens up a lot of checks, but wait. What? No. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. Nope. Yeah, queen. Oh my god. No. No. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, that's so simple. That's so easy. Oh, God. Ugh. I feel like if that were a 1200 or so problem, I would have seen that. Um, we want checkmate, and we want to save our bishop. We also perhaps want perpetual. Possibly. Man, this sucks. I do not like the position that that I am in. Um, Rook takes h3. The threat is queen f3. Rook takes h3. King takes g3. Queen check. King h2. Bishop check. King g1. Queen g4 check. King h1. Queen f3 perpetual. Rook h3. King takes perpetual. Rook h3. Pawn takes. Checkmates. Rook h3 if f takes e3. Queen g3 mates. Rook h3. Pawn takes doesn't work. If bishop d6. Queen f3 checkmates. King g1, rook h1 mate. Yeah. So rook h3. King takes. Queen check. Bishop check. Queen takes check. Queen oh! Oh my god. Oh my god, I have mate. I would think I was still steaming after the previous problem. Ah, that's so that's exactly the kind of move that I would make too. Okay, so queen check, bishop check, pawn check. Queen takes check, queen takes, bishop check, and how are you stopping g5 mate? Queen takes, bishop takes. Well, it's not g5. G5's not mate. He has the g3 square. But I could play king g6, king h6. But then he could just play bishop f6, stopping it. So queen takes, or he could just play king g3 preliminarily, preemptively, prophylactically. All those words. Bishop takes doesn't work. I'm getting mated. What about queen e1 check? Queen e1 check, bishop g3. Not convinced. Not convinced. Queen check, queen takes, bishop check, king h3. Not checkmate. How about pawn takes? Threatening g5 check. g5, g4, queen f5, or g4, queen f8, or queen f6. Both of them threaten queen h8 mate and queen g7 mates. So g4, queen here, let's say bishop check, king h, and then I'm out of moves. So I would need to play g5 and then queen e1 mate. Or queen e1 check, bishop g. My plan sort of falls through. It's not something ridiculous like bishop check, king takes. No, it's not that. If I could just get this bishop to move. So that way I could play h2 check. Queen takes h2. Queen takes h2 would be really promising if I could just get the fucker to move. How can I remove that bishop? Ay, 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 ay. g5 check, king takes h5, bishop check, queen takes. Wait, is f7 mate? Check, king takes, queen check, queen takes, f7 mate. Check, king takes, queen takes, and f7 mate. Bishop f7 mate. So queen check, queen takes, bishop f7 mate. That one's really difficult. That one's super difficult. Let's just do one more. I think the session's actually been pretty long. Took my pawn. Don't take my pawns, man. Don't take my pawns. Alright. So I can play knight takes. I cannot play this. Because he would take, and I can't take on f3 because he takes with queens. That's no good. There's nothing that I can really threaten. I can't, for example, hit the bishop on b2. Where's the queen even gonna go? The queen's trapped, isn't she? So I just need to make certain she can't take here. So, for example, queen d6, and the queen has no square. She's still trapped. So after queen d6, this queen goes nowhere. So he needs to play what? Bishop takes. I will play bishop takes. Or bishop takes, I can play pawn takes queen and then take on f3. I could also just play rook takes. Yeah, rook takes. So queen here, bishop takes, rook takes, knight takes, and then pawn takes queen. No? Oh, the queen has the a4 square. I totally missed she had the a4 square. I don't think I would have found queen takes here. Pawn takes. The rook needs to go back and then I win the... Whatever. This is check. So if I take with the queen, this is checkmate. This is a weird problem. 2 rooks, 2 minors, 1 queen, equal material. Don't I just lose material here? King c7 or king b8. He plays queen takes. I play queen takes. He plays knight takes. And I lose material. What's to see here? King c7 or king b8. King c7, queen takes. King c7, queen takes, knight takes, rook b8. I'm just supposed to lose the least amount of material? I don't get it. What the fuck? King c7, knight takes. King c7, queen takes, and then king takes d6. That's it. Lok van Veli playing white. Pawn check. This is not fun. I would never want to play this position. What do you even do here? I think you're supposed to take with the king. What the fuck? You gotta take with the king just to stop yourself from losing even more material. Although I guess... Yeah, I think that queen takes is inaccurate because then the queen... it ends... The queen is no longer at question. You stop putting the question to the queen. Here, the queen has to move away, and you have time to sort of reorganize your pieces. Still complete Scheiß. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me to do that session. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for, watching the videos and everything. I hope that they're helping you as much as they're helping me, and that you'll continue to watch and follow me along with my chess journey. But until the next time, take care of yourselves and good luck. Goodbye.